motorbikes, popularly known as Okada in Nigeria, is a common and useful para-transit mode in Nigeria. Motorcycles have constituted a significant proportion of modal choice of commuters in many cities in Nigeria. Motorcycles transport possess several unique features which have led to their general acceptance as a source of employment among the urban poor and as alternative transport solution to the problems of commuting in Nigerian cities. In recent times, the safety of motorcycle operators and their users has become a major concern of stakeholders as a result of the increase in road accidents resulting from motorcycle transportation. What about the worrisome trend of criminal activities across the country? Today on DateLine 360, we will examine the ban of commercial motorcycles in some states of the Federation, the effects, workability, and rationale behind this decision. Good to have you join us again on the program. I am Lydia Ojije Ochi. You're welcome. In its quest to fulfill her dream of having an enviable mega city, the Lagos state government banned the operations of commercial motorcycles and tricycles in some parts of the state. This development has generated reactions from Lagosians, with the government insisting that the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. Annie Daniels, who has been following the ban, reports.
The ban took immediate effect, with security operatives embarking on total enforcement of the state's transport sector reform law of 2018 in the affected 6 local government areas, 9 local council development areas, and 10 major highways across the state, with effect from the 1st of February 2020.
The traffic now has tripled than before.
There's no accident on the way, there's no breaking down of vehicle. I don't really know why the traffic is so much.
If I have to trek from here to High Court, and maybe before I get down there, I could not get the transport, my case could be struck out. A lot of people, if you have an appointment and you cannot get there on time, so more or less it's like a total waste of time.
There are more vehicles on the road when compared to the number of vehicles that we had in the past. As of today, about 1.6 million vehicles ply Lagos roads on a daily basis. On Lagos-Ibadan alone, 35,000 vehicles ply the road, either coming into Lagos or going out of Lagos. So with that kind of heavy traffic, it is expected that if all of us play our individual roles, we'll get the necessary solution to some of these gridlock that we are facing at the moment.
You have some crimes also associated with it, because the traffic is not really flowing. Some people under the guise of trading now rob people within short distance, then vanish. Before the restriction on Okada, mostly you see them using more of Okada. They come in, they snatch phones from people and escape quickly with Okada. It has always been an issue before the present Commissioner of Police responded with a very special operation.
To cushion the effects of the ban, the state government made available some commercial buses.
From our projection, these 65 buses will be able to carry about 35,000 people on a daily basis when the operation becomes fully stabilized.
This has, however, not mitigated the effects of the ban, as explained by these respondents.
In Yaba local government, we don't have it. So they should please and provide new bus for us.
And one of the problems now is the usual places they do collect 100 naira, they now say this 150, 200. So they ought to look into it and see what is really happening.
A reaction to an immediate change can always be like that. So whatever present gain or need of reaction will change sooner or later. If or when the government rolls out all these palliatives in terms of like increased buses on the road, improvement on the water transportation system that we have, and stuff like that, improvement on the road construction, bridges, BRT corridors coming into the scene.
We are coming up with a smaller version of a bus to now apply the inner routes. It's meant for inner routes. Because what we are planning is to reduce the number of private vehicles on the road and come out with mass transit. Mass transit can be of high capacity, can be of medium capacity.
Lagosians are eagerly awaiting the manifestation of these promises.
Many thanks, Annie. We look forward to seeing a better transportation system in Lagos. Now, commercial motorcycle operation was banned in Kaduna metropolis some time ago. More than a decade down the lane, compliance by the motorcycle operators with the ban remains a great challenge. Eugenia Ukweze brings us an update on the effect of the ban in Kaduna State.
It is called different names in different zones. They are one and the same. It is a regular means of transportation for majority of the populace due to their efficiency in navigating gridlocks and bad roads. Okada has helped in reducing the number of youths on the street, but many also believe that such is not without its social consequences.
But if I show you my deal, I will see many wood now Okada. So make the banner. I will not like it.
On a daily basis, for those of us who visited St. Gerard's then, it was accident galore. And we cannot continue to lose lives.
On the 7th of May 2014, Kaduna State Government announced the ban on the operation of commercial motorcycles in Kaduna Metropolis and provided commercial tricycles, popularly known as Keke Napep, as a palliative measure. In the wake of attacks by insurgents in Zaria in 2015, which led to the death of mostly teachers on verification exercise, Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai ordered security operatives to ensure strict compliance on the ban on commercial motorcycles, hawking and street begging. With the ban on Okada in other major cities in Nigeria, there are influx of these commercial motorcycle operators into the north, which resulted in high level of insecurity as the Nigerian army observed the use of these motorcycles for shady activities, especially in the forest areas. This prompted the army to ban the use of motorcycles in several states in the north, including Kaduna. In spite of all these efforts to curtail the activities of commercial motorcyclists in the state, the ban seems ineffective due to resistance by the motorcycle operators. Kaduna State Traffic Law Enforcement Authority is the agency saddled with the responsibility of enforcing the ban on Okada.
Usually when it comes to enforcement, there are one or two challenges. When the motorcycle riders sight our marshals on uniform, they become afraid, and in the process they try to dodge. And in dodging, they really don't wait to make sure that the road is clear. They don't think of their safety. They just try to dodge anyhow. And because of that, we had there was an instance where an Okada man who was carrying a passenger sighted our marshals, and then he tried to dodge, and in the process he hit a tree, and unfortunately that rider died.
What is the likely consequence of the ban on commercial motorcycle regarding transportation?
On the masses is that it will make them to go through some hardship in terms of how to get to their places of work. You understand? Because there are some areas that cars, vehicles cannot get to.
If you ban, provide alternative, not ban them to go into the society to cause trouble. Then you create idle mind again.
Stakeholders suggest alternative means of livelihood for the motorcyclists and improved mode of transportation to ameliorate the inconveniences that may likely occur as a result of the strict enforcement of the ban.
Eugenia, thank you for that update from Kaduna. The decision to ban the use of motorcycles within Owerri metropolis is considered one of the difficult steps taken by the Imo State government in 2011, as it was a major means of transportation in that state. Recent events, however, show that difficult as it may have been, the fallout from the ban have left the state capital better off in terms of structural and economic development. Let's join Miriam Vincent Oko as she reports from Owerri for DateLine 360.
The ban, according to the government, is in line with the Imo State Law, Section 17 of year 2000, which was implemented following the use of Okada, otherwise known as Inaga, in Imo State for criminal activities, especially robbery.
Before they ban the Okada, banning is a very good thing, but another thing is that bringing a solution to that particular problem. For now, you see, Okada is very, very convenient when it comes to transportation.
Since they ceased operating in Owerri metropolis, the rate of crime has really reduced to the barest minimum.
It's good to ban it because some people use it and rob. I've experienced a lot of them, even in Okiwe roundabout here.
While the ban on motorcycles took its toll on residents of Owerri, who initially found it difficult to cope in view of the limited number of buses available at the time, the operators saw it as a policy which did not take their interest into consideration.
We just manage the business because of there is no work.
Without this, some of us, we can't survive. Some of us, for this alone, can make some of us, they can't steal, they can't do something bad. But for this alone, at the end of the day, you have what you want.
Mr. Nelson Ezerioha is a former commissioner for special duties and transport in Imo State. He describes the ban on motorcycle as a well thought out idea, which was followed up with palliative measures by the government.
So what Imo State government did was to introduce taxi scheme and the bus scheme. So they bought a lot of vehicles, and these vehicles were given to those tricycle operators free of charge. Free of charge, not in the sense that they will not pay any money, but come and collect these tricycles and taxis free. When you collect them, at the end of the week, you bring a token of 10,000 naira to the government. You still go ahead and be using your vehicles. That's what happened, and that's why there was no riot in Imo State. People could manage. They had to drop their bikes, and they started carrying the taxi, because you were not paying any money to carry the taxi.
Apart from the buses and taxis provided by the state government, the ban has resulted in roads expansion for ease of movement, while private individuals and organizations are now venturing into the business of transportation. Laudable as this may be, motorcycles are gradually finding their ways back into restricted areas. Worried by this situation, the police at some points have made efforts to carry out strategic operations to arrest, confiscate and prosecute defaulters.
There is ban on motorcycles in Owerri Municipal. So anybody that is caught using motorcycles within and around Owerri Metropolis will be arrested.
Despite the successes recorded with the ban on the use of motorcycles, it is the hope of the people that the state government will look into restructuring the transport sector to meet the demands of the growing population in Imo State.
Marian, it surely is a success story from Owerri. Thank you. Here at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, motorcycles and tricycles are preferred by commuters because of the advantage they have over buses and taxis, especially for their ability to move within nooks and crannies. The ban on this means of transport in most parts of Abuja has no doubt brought about sanity in the city. But experts say it might add to unemployment and insecurity. Ifeanyi Ezumba takes a look at the consequences of this ban in Abuja.
Over 200 tricycle and keke operators doing business within the city center has been formally moved to Cuba in line with the FCT Minister's directive. This was paramount because of safety concerns. Their presence has caused a lot of death and disorderliness in the territory. Though this has brought untold hardship on commuters in the city, there has been sanity and orderliness in the transportation system. How are people in these areas coping without the use of Okada?
Yes, there is serenity there, but if you look at it, a lot of commuters are passing through hardship, but you wouldn't know because they have no choice. Ordinarily, if you ask them that, hey, do you want Okada to pick you, they'll answer you yes. It is like that, but deep down their heart, they're not finding it easy. Even myself, at times when I'm in the city center, I have to trek for a certain distance before I'll get a keke to board.
The government should
find a way to create a space for keke separately for their own movements and have maybe task force to monitor whatever they are doing.
The Nyanya, Kubwa, and part of Mararaba axis seem to be worse hit by the ban, as most Okada and Keke riders have shifted base to these places, causing rowdiness and traffic gridlock.
Okada is a no-no for me. I think there are so many atrocities that have been committed by these guys. And with the state of insecurity in our country these days, I think Okada should be off the road.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration Task Force team set up to enforce the directive says it will stop at nothing to ensure enforcement.
These activities have been intensified. We have so far arrested over 300 Keke Napep. We have released about 136 of those Keke Napep to the Keke executive.
So while some welcome the ban on Okada because they do not obey traffic rules, others say they prefer them for their ability to navigate in and out of tight spots and get them to their destination on time.
Imagine me now, if I close from work now, I've closed from work something 10, 11. Okada can carry me, but Keke cannot carry me. So I prefer the Okada than any other thing.
At times when you're financially handicapped, when you talk to them, you plead with them, they understand with you.
Some are of the opinion that the ban might bring some kind of hardship for the Okada operators. People are therefore calling on relevant authorities to cushion the effect of the ban on residents by putting in place a more robust transportation system that can work.
Ifeanyi, the ban really brought about sanity in the Federal Capital Territory. Thank you. Operations of commercial motorcyclists were banned in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, since 2007 by the Cross River State government. The initiative, which came in its wake with mixed feelings, is viewed today as a blessing after all. Why? Maureen Leo Ajom in this report unfolds the fallout of the development that has been running for 13 years and still counting.
Countless reasons necessitated the ban of commercial motorcyclist operations in Calabar, Cross River State. Some were maimed, some are deformed, and some are not here to tell the story. These are some of the ugly scenes and scars from persons who patronized the operations of commercial motorcyclists in Calabar before its ban in 2007. For persons who are alive, these are some of the tales.
Accident rate was too high, one, and robbery rate was high. Because at least I'm a victim of robbery rate.
Honorable Councillor, my Honorable Councillor Mpanam was about traveling. So he had an accident, and today he had an issue in his leg. Up to today as I'm talking now.
Beyond these tales, the Cross River State government, in a bid to make Calabar and the state conducive for tourists as an international tourism hub, ended operations of Okada.
The activities of tricycle and motorcycle became more hazardous for us to endure, and there was no need for it to exist because one, we were unable to control the operation of the commercial motorcyclists. Two, we cannot regulate them. Three, we are unable to license them because to any attempt we want to trap one or two of them, all of them form as a mob on the enforcement officers, and they were increased in number. So what the Excellency then did was call for the registration of the commercial cyclists in the city, which we did. We have a comprehensive register of all the commercial cyclists, and in his wisdom he said, no, we shouldn't end by banning them. If we're banning them, what do we give them as an alternative to do? He moved a step forward to procure motor vehicles and buses for them to be used for hire purchase to a bank.
And these Okada people, some of them will carry 2 and 3. And it's a bike. A bike is not like a car.
The ban is still on and the people have moved on. Today, the situation has evoked a different lifestyle when it has to do with means of transportation. As a way forward, the state government had introduced a taxi scheme as part of measures to cushion the effects of the ban. Today, many Okada riders have upgraded to drivers of vehicles and many are employers of labor. For the residents of Calabar, patronizing Okada is no longer an option for consideration when it comes to means of transportation.
The Okada is a mode of transport regarded to have contributed to improved public transport in the city. It is an indisputable fact that 80% of motorcycle riders were engaged in one handiwork or the other before they abandoned them because of the quick money that motorcycle business brings. Experts say for proper development of the economy and ensuring that these future leaders are properly positioned, the youths must be professionally engaged either through formal education or vocational training so as to reposition them for their own development and for nation building. The ban in some states across the country will in no small way reduce criminal activities and accidents on our roads. Statistics on road accidents in Nigeria shows that about 60% are caused by commercial motorbikes. Some Nigerians are of the opinion that if the goal of the ban on Okada is to fight crime, then it is a step in the right direction. Others say trekking is good exercise for the body to burn off excess calories and stay fit and healthy. Either way, the ban is intended to sanitize the society for the good of all. That's our package today on DateLine 360. Thank you for your attention. Join us again next week. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Goodbye.